Hello and good morning, everyone. Before we begin, may I do a mic check? Is my mic okay? Working on your side? Can I get a thumbs up real quick? All right, thanks. All right, may I know is Mr. Wilson is ready for the session?
Hey, good morning, Angelina, and good morning, everyone. Can you guys hear me clearly?
Yes, on my side, yeah, I can clearly can hear it.
Awesome. And see
Awesome.
me.
Yes, of course.
Right.
All right. Right, let's begin. Greetings, everyone, and welcome to our highly anticipated webinar entitled Operational Intelligence Unlocking Efficiency for Water Utility and Facility Management. On behalf of PCSS and Cubalab, we are excited to have all of you with us today as we dive into today's webinar. My name is Angelina, and I will be your host for this session. Before we begin, let's go over for a few housekeeping details to ensure a smooth and engaging webinar experience for everyone. Firstly, um, just a quick reminder, as displayed in the shared screen right now is the QR code to the Google form, okay, which is the participant form by the CubeLab. Um, we would like to also emphasize that this form will only use for administrative and communications purpose, and it won't be used for marketing reasons. Right. I have also pasted the link for you to fill in. So kindly fill it in. It will be great to have for CubeLab to get to know you more. Yeah, you can always refer to the link in the chat. I will be keep sending it just in case there are new participants coming in. Now, before and foremost, please be informed that this webinar will be recorded for the future viewing and to distribute to those who are unable to attend today. Secondly, we would like to request all participants to keep their microphones muted throughout the webinar. And also, please feel free to ask your questions in the chat box throughout the session. I will do my best to address them during the Q&A session. Thirdly, the attendance for today's webinar will only be shared through QR code at the end of the session together with the feedback forms. So do stay with us until the end of the session so that you can scan for your attendance. Before we begin, I would like to do a little bit of introduction of PCSS. So PCSS is a project management solutions provider focused on enhancing organizational profits through the implementation of industry-leading practices. We specialize in digital construction, covering from BIM, building information modeling, 4D simulations, optimization of tools such as drones, AR, VR, to name a few. This emphasizes our dedication to staying technologically advanced and providing innovative solutions for the digital transformation across the construction industry in the region. Now, again, ladies and gentlemen, our speaker today is Mr. Wilson Teo. He is the Senior Solution Consultant from PTC, which is Cuba Labs Solutions Partner. Without further ado, to dive in more our topics today, I invite Mr. Wilson to the floor for today's session.
Right. Thank you, Angelina. So let me quickly share my screen over here.
Yeah, sure.
And let me know when you guys can see my screen.
Yes, it's on full screen.
Awesome. All right. So, uh, may I start now? Or is it okay to start?
Yes, you can start right away.
All right. So, good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining me today for the webinar on the operational intelligence and how it is unlocking efficiency for water utilities and facility management. So, as Angelina mentioned, my name is Wilson, and I am a senior solution consultant at PTC. So, PTC stands for Parametric Technology Corporation, and I will be, taking you. I mean, I appreciate your time, to be here, and I will be, looking forward to share more insights with you in this topic, and also hearing your questions, right? So before I actually go into the content of these presentations, so let me walk you through what I will be covering today. So I will start off with a quick introduction about who is PTC, right? And then after that, I will dive into the industrial landscape and challenges that the industry is facing right now. And next, I will show you how IoT is transforming water operations and facility management with ThinkWorks as our IoT platform of choice. And then we will explore how to connect, to build, to analyze, manage, and create great experiences with our IoT platform. And also, I will share with you some uh, use case from our customers. And then after that, we'll wrap up with a Q&A sessions, right? So to give you an overview of who is PTC. So basically, PTC is a global leader in digital transformations for product companies. And we are headquartered in Boston. So we are an MNC based in Boston, and we have been operating in over 35 countries. So our customer base is very diverse, ranging from electronics, high tech, retail, aerospace and defense, industrial, med medical technologies, and automotive. And then we have very strong customer base across that industry, more than 35,000 of them. And we are generating about $2.25 billion dollars annually as a annual recurring revenues, in short ARR, and we have a market cap of over 20 billion US dollars. So with nearly 4 decades of innovations, our software supports the entire product life cycles, and we are also very proud to have a very strong partner ecosystems, where a quarter of our business comes from our partners like Kubernetes, right? So this depth and breadth allow us to deliver real value to our customers. And digital transformation, as I believe many of you heard many times before, and it's no longer just a buzzword, right? It is about using technologies to redefine how we manage, how we control, and how we sustain our physical assets on the field. So PTC, we offers various solutions across the entire product life cycles. From the left, you can see CAD. We have software to actually develop 3D models, right? And then we also do provide solutions to manage the entire applications. So that is application lifecycle management, ALM in short. And then moving forward, we have product lifecycle management software, in short PLM, to basically manage the components of your product before you manufacture it. And then once the product is manufactured, then we have to monitor it. We need to understand our product or the assets on the field. So we do also offers IoT solutions um, to actually serve that purpose. And also we do also have solutions for the service lifecycle management. So when your assets, your equipments are operating, they need services, they need maintenance. So we do also provide that solutions. And lastly, we also have offers augmented reality solutions whereby we use, digital informations that can be overlaid on top of the real world to guide and assist the workers and operations, right? So the whole life, the entire life cycles of a product PTC offers. But today's goal will be more focusing on the IoT portion, right? Due to our time constraint. And as I mentioned just now, so our IoT solution is represented by ThinkWorks. This is an IoT platform, and Capware. This is the industrial connectivity solution to connect to all the different machines and assets on the floor, right? So today's these two solution will be our main discussions. So let's talk a little bit about the real world challenges that we are facing. And one of the very common challenges or most common challenges that we see is the aging infrastructure, right? Especially in the not just water, but across different industry. So where we see assets deteriorate over time, and that drives up operational costs and failure risk. And oftentimes the systems are operating in silos, making it harder to get comprehensive pictures across the entire organizations. And and the thing is, sometimes we have outdated IT systems that really slow us down to make decisions. And with research showing that, the global populations in the city areas is expected to be doubled by 2050, the pressure is increasing. And we see that 30 to 40% of fresh water is lost to leaks before it reaches homes. And one city in the US even reported a 40% loss and had to issue a boil water advisory after the major breakup. So regulatory changes and customer demands for new services um, means we need to adapt quickly. And that's why digital transformation is so critical. So here is basically showing you some of the statistics um, um, for the business driver of having a smart connected plants. So in US alone, we can see that the spending on smart water technologies is projected to skyrocket with about close to 700 billions in infrastructure investment over the next decades. And every year, 2 trillion gallons of waters are lost due to leaks. That's about 15% of all the drinking waters. And 50 million new users will be connected to centralized treatment systems in the next 20 years. And so globally, we also see the report also shows that 75% of the people still lack 27 access to potable water. Clearly making our water plants smart and digital, what we call here the smart connected water plant, it's not just a nice to have. It has become a business imperative. Next, we're going to talk about how operational intelligence can benefit to the smart water, to the water industry. So operational intelligence is all about getting the right informations to the right people in the right context. So over here, we use our solutions to collect, to aggregate, to analyze, and to display the data across operations to ensure compliance and support accuracy decision making. So all this data, it comes from your assets, it comes from your existing systems. You have the equipment, you have your water pump, you have your reservoir, all these kind of assets, they do generate data, right? So by leveraging all this data, we are able to optimize these assets operation, and therefore we can reduce the maintenance costs or even anticipate issues before they happen with the advanced predictive analytics. And digital workforce productivity means real-time information and real-time collaboration regardless of regardless of where your team is located at in the different geographical locations. And also with scalable analytics, we can predict failures and optimize processes. So this is the journey of digital transformations. So from moving from asking how to focusing on what outcomes we can achieve. So over here, just want to show you how your smart connected water plant looks like. So we are talking about, like I mentioned, smart plants, smart equipment, smart devices nowadays. So, and all of them, they're working together, right? And you can see that all these smart systems, they generate data, and therefore all this data um, needs to be collected in order to understand the entire ecosystems. And we need a solution for that data collection and also data visualization and analytics. Okay. So over here, I just want to show you how our IoT platform will fit into the smart connected water plants. So the IoT solution, this diagram basically showcase the entire IoT solution suites. So ThinkWorks and Capware are the engines behind the entire connected systems. So at the bottom, you can see that we have Capware, where I mentioned that it is an industrial connectivity solution. So at the bottom, you have all the assets, all your different systems that you're running right now. Most of the time, they are running in silo or they are not even being connected. So for that, in order to understand the equipment itself, we have to retrieve, we have to communicate with these assets. So that can be achieved by Capware, where we can connect to all the different kind of assets, all the different kind of sensors that we are operating at the shop floor or on the field. And once the data is collected, then this information will be fed into the IoT platform called ThinkWorks, where the data will first be contextualized, right? We build models around this data because the data is just a number. Without any meaning, without any context, the data will be meaningless. So we contextualize data and then we manage the data, right? We build workflows to the data itself to automate certain kind of processes, right? And at the same time, we can use those data to do some analytics, all right? We can do real-time analysis. We can even leverage the analytics module to do advanced analytics like prediction. Most of the time we hear about predictive maintenance. So that's one very common use case that our IoT solution is can provide to our customers. And even we are talking more than just advanced the predictive analytics. We are talking about more about generative AI. So later on, I will also show you how our solution can make use of the data collections and also generative AI technologies to drive further insights for the end users and also drive more business value, right? So after all this data has been managed, they 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 then can be visualized, through dashboards, right? The users are able to build different kind of dashboards according to their use cases. And as you can see at the second top, I mean second row of the diagram, these are some of the most common high value use cases that we have built, for our customers. So you can see real special. You can see the exam. Some the application will be like real-time productions, performance monitoring, asset monitoring and utilization, connected work cell, digital performance management, and so on and so forth. But again, this is a platform, right? And we are building these applications for out of the box so that users can get quick value quickly out of it. But if you have a very specific requirement, specific use cases, you can use the platform to build your application from scratch as well. So it's really a flexible platform to serve different kind of business needs. So over here, I just want to show you, what will be the common landscape in the industry, especially on the water industry. So usually we will see that you have a different kind of assets, on the field itself. Like I mentioned, you have different systems. You might even have smart devices, smart tools, maybe your camera, CCTV, etc. Right? So all these informations, usually they will actually go through and being stored in different kind of systems, right? So in the typical industrial network, we can see there are different layers storing different kind of information. L1 usually is the PLC, right? L2, and then we go further up where we have SCADA systems. We look at the status of our machine at the site level. And then after that, at the enterprise level, the production level, we do have MES systems, MOM systems. And lastly, at the enterprise level, we have, ERP system, we have SCM system and so on and so forth. So all these layers, basically they are operating, most likely they are operating in silos. So users are, sometimes they're having a hard time, especially business user, where they need both operation data and also business data to make an informed decisions. So how ThinkWorks basically transform the entire landscape is by overlaying, sitting on top of all these existing systems, and then consolidate all the information into a single platform. And after that, so all the necessary information can be accessed from that platform. So users, from a user perspective, they don't really need to, you know, go into each individual systems to look for the data that they need. Instead, they can access it through a single platform, like ThinkWorks, right? So ThinkWorks has the capability of connecting and consolidating all the data. And with the data in one platform, that is where we can build, the use cases that we need to, all right? Depending on the area, like, for example, if you want to talk about asset use cases, I mentioned about asset monitoring and utilization as the one of the most common use cases, predictive maintenance, and then in terms of our workforce productivity, talking about our workers on the field. So how do we enable them through these informations? So maybe we can have digital informations to guide them through their work by giving them work instructions while they're on the field, right? Maybe we can have augmented reality, training and work instruction in an augmented reality form, right, to assist them while they're on site. And in terms of quality, we can use those data to do predictive qualities. We can do quality control, and we can do quality inspection. So all these kind of different use cases that we can build when we have all the necessary data that we have in a single platform. Okay, so over here, I just want to show you a very quick, two quick videos, which is about our existing customers on how they use our IoT platform to, to fulfill their business requirements. So the first one will be a wastewater, um, wastewater and treatment equipment manufacturer. Like you heard about compressor, you know about the water pump. So they are the manufacturer, and how they use our IoT solutions to monitor their assets of their customers. And the second one is basically using our IoT solutions to monitor their building. So having a smart building, connecting all the HVAC systems, connecting with the lighting system and all those things to optimize the operations of the entire building. So without further ado, let me play that video. Hold on, can you guys hear the audio of it?
There's no sound. Maybe you need to take the include sound when you share the slide.
Let me try this. What about
Pressure
now?
gas or liquid to high pressure through a flexible
Yes,
membrane,
working.
typically used in situations where
Maybe let me just...
in a wastewater treatment operation, diaphragm compressors are often used to convert low-pressure gas or liquid to high pressure through a flexible membrane. Typically used in situations where complete hermetic separation is required, the compressors often handle toxic, flammable, or explosive gases. In our case, this compressor injects oxygen into sedimentation tanks to accelerate microbial sanitation processes. But when a compressor goes offline, it's critical to diagnose and service it as quickly as possible to avoid costly repercussions and keep the plant running at full capacity. With service operations becoming a new profit center for today's global manufacturers, providing tools to efficiently and effectively perform field service is imperative. Through the ThingWorx role-based dashboard, monitoring a fleet of assets deployed at customer sites worldwide provides the real-time data remote technicians need to stay ahead of equipment outages. With this general view of assets, information like model and serial number, location, performance and sensor data, maintenance logs, and predictive analytics, service techs can avoid future failures. Through the dashboard of all the plant's diaphragms, we can select Diaphragm 1 and see its performance, status, and historical data over the time it's been deployed. Although this asset is showing its status as good, ThingWorx is predicting abnormal activity. For more context, we can view Connected Info, where we can see the readings from the compressor. There are no active alerts for this machine, but there is a predicted alert for a pressure leak, which has been flagged. By constantly analyzing asset condition data and historical data from similar compressors, ThingWorx creates prediction models for the most critical problems. To understand and proactively diagnose the potential issue, we can easily review historical data for pressure, flow, speed, and power on this unit. Looking at the low pressure and flow rate, we can investigate the predicted failure and determine that this compressor is trending toward a diaphragm rupture. We've decided that the best course of action is to deploy a field technician to replace the physical part. ThingWorx lets us easily create a service ticket to dispatch a technician with the exact information needed to resolve the problem. With ThingWorx's connectivity, real-time data is brought to the forefront of service operations. On a macro level, the same real-time data acquisition and machine learning can be applied to an entire enterprise. For a plant manager, monitoring a fleet of different assets from different vendors can be complicated and overwhelming. With compressors, blowers, and pumps from vendors like Howden and Flowserve, managers must ensure all assets are operating independently and as a system. Like the service technician, a plant manager can easily see all individual assets with performance and alert statuses. But a plant manager needs to know more than just the status of individual assets. They need to know the status of the entire wastewater treatment process. To monitor the entire enterprise's performance, ThingWorx provides an operational overview of the plant, from the intake of raw wastewater via the influent pipes to the sedimentation and aeration processes, through the 3 clarification tanks at the top to the eventual discharge of treated water. Machine performance data and sensor data tracking can trigger alerts and notifications through the sanitation process. In our dashboard, we see the status of Diaphragm 1 has changed from green to yellow. To understand the issue better, we can select the alert link on Diaphragm 1 to view alert details and the compressor's alert history. We can view Diaphragm 1's details to examine the change in the recorded pressure. The alert details reveal low pressure from this compressor, which indicates we have a rupture in the diaphragm. In addition to seeing implications on an asset level, we can also see how the rupture is affecting the entire process. From the process view, we see that both Diaphragm 1 and the sedimentation tank need our attention. We've already seen that there is low pressure in the compressor, but we need to understand the issue in the sedimentation tank. Selecting the sedimentation tank shows the dissolved oxygen level is decreasing because the compressor is operating below spec. This impacts the efficacy of the tank's biological components, slowing the sanitation process and ultimately impacting our ability to achieve KPIs at the plant. To ensure the rest of the compressors feeding the sedimentation tank can sustain the added load, we can check their status as well. We even have the option to use ThingWorx Flow to automate load balancing across the available compressors, freeing up time to fix the broken compressor without compromising the rest of the treatment process.
All right. So that is the first customers use cases. So this is the next one.
With the ThingWorx industrial IoT platform, those tasked with maintaining and managing buildings now have detailed insight and control over their assets. With ThingWorx and our partner ecosystem, you can attain higher performing buildings by creating a new breed of smart applications that delivers energy consumption dashboards and building performance benchmarks, applications to remotely monitor and control heating, lighting, life safety, and security systems, predictive maintenance and condition-based monitoring, and desired environmental conditions and occupant comfort. With smart, connected applications created with ThingWorx, managing buildings has simultaneously become simpler and more informative. These tools consistently monitor and constantly update, providing managers with the data they need to make informed, proactive decisions, including views of building performance, energy consumption, and the associated costs. Building performance benchmark dashboards allows managers to rate and compare performance based on various data streaming from both connected systems and connected products. Service costs coming from a CRM system can be combined with energy usage coming from connected meters, creating one dashboard, quickly identifying underperforming buildings and plan corrective actions. When equipment fails, the building fails. Adding a service component to connected buildings, however, brings fast and efficient service for maintaining building uptime. ThingWorx industrial connectivity allows solution builders to easily connect and manage the many types of equipment in a building, helping building managers and service departments visualize their equipment, data, and KPIs, while helping to detect issues before they lead to downtime. Combining connected systems and products allows for remote service tasks and scheduling, all from one easy-to-use view. Instead of using traditional instructions for repair, a building service department can select AR instructions, presenting easy-to-follow and immersive instructions for equipment repair. Using intuitive, interactive instructions, issues can be addressed and fixed quickly, reducing lost time and cost. Intelligent management of lighting systems is crucial for keeping energy costs in check. With easy integration to smart lighting systems, ThingWorx enables users to create applications to remotely manage lighting and reduce costs, including proactive, autonomous actions to adjust lighting systems based on occupancy. In one platform, you can compare external and internal factors to energy consumption, leading to more efficient energy consumption and smart spending. Energy consumption from connected meters can be combined with external data sources, like weather services, to help building managers forecast energy usage. Collecting and analyzing data is the driving force to optimize building operations. ThingWorx helps customers build a smart building application that pulls and analyzes data from connected products and systems, identifying key trends to help building managers increase operating efficiency. A connected building is more than automatic lighting and timed HVAC systems. The connected building is revolutionizing time and cost. With the ThingWorx industrial IoT platform, keeping a smart building running efficiently is a reality, saving the time and money you need to expand and better your assets and services.
All right. So I hope that right now you have some rough idea about how our IoT solution looks like and how it can be benefited by the water utility industry as well as the facility management industry, like having a smart building, right? So in order to achieve all these solutions that we have seen, I believe that many of you will have the questions. How do we actually come to that solution? It looks great, right? I want this solution. Maybe some of you might be thinking. So over here, I will actually go through with you the how, the behind the scene. How do we actually come to that kind of solutions? so that you can, understand better, and also trying to, see how these applications can be, can be fit into your infrastructure and bring more value. So with that, I'm actually starting off with, talking more about our IoT solution, ThinkWorks. So the 5 steps here is basically the summary of how we can get to where you see, the application and so forth, right? So we started off with connecting all the various devices and applications, all right, to bring all this information into the single platform, which is ThinkWorks. So this connect part is basically, it can be fulfilled by our Capware industrial connectivity solution. And next, we'll build we'll build data models around the data that we have collected in the platform, right? So for example, you have, I believe that on the floor, some of you might have experience with, connecting to PLC, connecting to your sensors. So all these sensors and PLC, they provided data in a form of tag. So all this tag itself, they generate numbers. So all this number itself, it is meaningless, without having, the context. So for example, we need to mention that this number is actually refers to the temperature of an asset. When the another tag, the number generated, it refers to the pressure of your water pump. So this is what we call the data modeling. So we build this data model, so that all this data provides meaning. And after that, with all the data model generated, we are able to use this data, that's what we call a structured data, right, to do analysis. It can be real time, it can be a real time analysis, providing you the root cause of, for example, a certain downtime, right? And also you can do predictions using the historical data collected, and even doing prescriptive analytics, which is basically advising the operators or users what is the actions that needs to be done in order to rectify these situations, right? And after that, once we have analysis, we are at a platform, we are also able to manage the data by automating, building certain business workflow to manage, to automate certain process. So for example, you have an equipment, and it actually, um, having some problem. So the sensors, maybe the temperature is going abnormally. So when this temperature goes above a certain threshold, and then it will generate an alert. And then when an alert is generated, you by right you should expect that alerts to be automatically communicated to the operators, maybe through SMS or through email. And after that, the operators will be alerted and take actions. So all these processes can be automated through the business workflow within the platform. And last but not least, having all this data prepared, you are able to build dashboard to visualize it in real time. So you can monitor, you can understand the operation, the as your health, your asset health in real time, right? For example. Okay, so that's a summary. So I'm going to go into each individual module one by one to illustrate how our solution fits into these different phases. So connect, as I mentioned, we have this Capware connectivity, industrial connectivity solution. So basically, it is I would say it is a library consisting of different kind of drivers that can talk to different kind of your assets or your equipment. So for example, in the floor, you have different PLCs. Maybe you are using OPC server. You have some meters, using use some RTU or your flow meter. You know, all these assets, they have their own communication protocol, right? So Capware server basically it has, more than 150 drivers and plugins out of the box. that users can use to talk to these different assets or different sensors depending on the communication protocols, right? And it's easy to use because the drivers are there are readily available. You know, oftentimes we see customers has to build custom connectors, right? That actually, you know, takes up a lot of effort and time um, wasted on just building the connectors, and they have to maintain it as time goes by, right? So why uh, we why building a custom connectors when we can leverage, you know, out of the box connectors readily usable um, in the Capware solutions, right? So just over here, just to showcase, you know, this could be, you know, the common scenarios in the industry and the challenges faced by the industry. So they have different kind of systems, and each system they establish their individual separate connections to different machines, all right, different assets depending on whatever data that they need from whichever machines or assets and equipment. So this provides a very, you know, hard to maintain connectivity scenario, right? And it's also very hard to scale when we are talking about, you know, expanding or scale up a pilot project to the entire organization or enterprise. So what Capware does is basically it helps to standardize, it helps to simplify the connectivity architecture. So where I mentioned that Capware, it has a lot of drivers and communication protocols that can talk to each different assets on the floor. And then from a user point of view, when you need certain data itself, instead of going directly to the assets, you just need to go through Capware to get those data. So all the system, you know, for example, your SCADA system or your database, all right, you have a historian, or you have some, you know, on 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 the floor kind of dashboard uh, for operation use, and you can get those data just from a single place, which is Capware. So that actually simplifies the architecture, and then also is improve the entire operation, you know, compared to when you have different kind of systems connecting to this particular asset. That might actually cause some performance issue for the assets, right? So so with this architecture, basically it becomes more uh, I would say optimized, more scalable, and more sustainable, right? So over here is just a list of different kind of connectivities drivers that I talked about, communication protocols. So it basically over here I show it in a different kind of industry. So for, let's say, for energy and utility, oftentimes we see this kind of PLC on the floor. So Capware have these drivers, right? In building automations industry, they're using these kind of protocols, which really provide that driver as well. So uh, so that makes connecting to these assets, you know, becomes much easier and straightforward, and customers can spend more time on building their use cases instead of connecting to the data, right? So so a lot of these are just some of just a snippet of the the entire um, drivers available. So if you have, you know, when if you are working on a project right now, or you have certain connectivity, you know, questions, issues, maybe Capware will be the solution, and we can definitely talk more about that in a separate discussions. So after connecting all this data, retrieving data, like I mentioned, we have to build a data model to add context to the data itself. So for example, here is a simple diagram showing we have different hydraulic pump on the floor, right? Each pump itself, they have different kind of parameters to be collected, like the temperature, the flow rate, the pressure, and things, and maybe the motor speed and etc. Right? So Capware completes the connectivity, bring those data into the platform. So in the platform, we have to model the data. We add the parameters as properties. For example, like running hours, the sensors parameters, the locations of the pump, and etc. And then at the same time, we can build some, I would say, analytics, right? We can do some simple calculations, like, we want to get the running status, the running duration of the equipment. We want to get the maintenance record. We want to write back to the controller. So it's not just one way. The data flow can be bi-directional. We can read from the equipment, and at the same time, we can write back data to the equipment. For example, we want to set the speed of the pump itself, the motor of the pump. So that can be achieved, you know, in the through the platform instead of going to the the the, the pump itself, right? And we can record events, right? Critical events like machine shutdown, unplanned downtime, etc. Right? And also, once all this information collected, we can subscribe to it, right? So that we can generate notifications to the operators, all right? For example, notify the status, notify if there's an abnormal event like speed loss, or we can even trigger, some actions like triggering a maintenance order in the maintenance, the CMMS, all right? So, this is where we build the data model and some simple analytics. And uh, just want to emphasize that besides connecting to the asset itself, the platform is also flexible enough to talk to all your different business system, like your ERP, like your CMMS, like I mentioned, or your LIM system for lab data, and also and so on and so forth. Maybe you have your database, your SQL database, you have some historian or Oracle, your Pi system if you are using historian, etc. So all this information can be consolidated, not just information from the field, from the assets. Okay, so these are just a sample, just one example, right? You have the properties, let's say you have the motor speed, right? And then after that, you can create a services to check whether the pump is in running mode, or is in idle mode, or is in, downtime, right? So if let's say one of these event happens, that event basically are evaluated based on the real-time information on your property, then you can trigger an event. And the event itself will be recorded, and subsequently you can create subscription to subscribe to this event. And the subscription will basically provide or generate notification to the operators or the equipment owner through various ways. For example, SMS, for example, email. So depending on whichever approach that you want to, and we have that all these capability built in. So next is analyze. So analytics itself, it basically has different kind of level, and different level of analytics provides different kind of business value to the end users, right? So starting from the low level, we talked about descriptive analytics. Basically, is to tell you what happens. That's mostly after the event the event has happened, right? So you want to do some root cause analysis. So you can use descriptive analytics, right? And then after that, the next level of analytics, we're talking about predictive analytics, where you want to predict when this asset will fail, right? So that you can take preventive measure before the, the machine breaks down, right? So that is to avoid, equipment breakdown. So you can do maintenance before it break down based on the predictive analytics result. And then the last level is about prescriptive analytics, which is basically to advise the users what can be done to prevent a certain events happens. All right. So, for example, you can suggest that lowering the temperature might prolong the lifespan or the operation duration for a pump, say for example. So prescriptive analytics is able to um, provide that kind of informations, right? So, and with all these different type of analytics are available within our IoT solutions, and it's a built-in module, so you don't really need to rely on a separate kind of analytic systems to do analytics and then pump back to the systems. So everything is in a single one box. So our analytics module basically can do um, various analytics like I mentioned. So it can show you some descriptive analytics like some statistical calculations like the average, the mean, the distribution, the the confidence interval and all the stuff. And then after that, the next one is actually basically doing diagnostic. All right, that is basically to evaluate the informations of your assets, of your palms and all those, and then finding the relationship between those informations. For example, well, if we want to talk about whether a machines will break down or not, maybe the motor speed of that pump, it has a high relationship, it has a high significance, we call, to that event. So the our analytics is able to generate that kind of informations, showcase what are the parameters that will impact the outcome of the certain event, or outcome of an event most significantly, right? So we can do some correlation over here, and also doing some profiling, a combination of properties like temperature and also pressure will affect, they will impact the pump the most. This kind of relationship, data relationship, right? And then after that, with those relationship, with those information, we're able to do predictive analytics, where we have, uh, I think around a few out of the box machine learning algo that is built in that users can leverage to actually build predictive machine learning model, and then to generate the predictions, right? So some of the most common use case that we see is to from our customers is to predict equipment failure, to predict their the production, their output quality, to determine when a maintenance or service is required, and yeah, the last one is predict sales or risk of churn. That is more for the commercial side, right? So various use cases you can actually apply with our analytics. So these are just some of the, in case for those technical guys that who are more interested in what are the machine learning algo that is built in our analytics module. So these are just some of them, right? Depending on the use case, the goals that you want to predict, that is the machine. So you can use the relevant kind of machine learning algo, and if not, the system will be also smart enough to help the users to determine which machine learning technique will be the most suitable for the use case by the accuracy of the models and also the predictions. Okay, and these are just machine learning. So just now I mentioned about, we are talking not just about the conventional analytics that we used to hear, but now it's more about generative AI. So using things like large language model to process your data and to generate insights for the users. So it's like a chat GPT kind of thing, but that chat GPT applies to your system, applies to your data, applies to your operations, right? So let me show you quickly. So within our platform, we do come up with a very new feature, right? Which is we call ThinkWorks AI Assistant, whereby we use large language model to apply onto the historical operational data that you collected from a field, and then telling you the insights from that data. So let me play this video to show you how LLM can, basically generate more insights from the collected data. So assuming that you already built an applications using ThinkWorks, and then this is basically to monitor, the utilizations of your assets. All right. For example, your pump, you can track, when are they running, when are they not running, when are they stop or in downtime, and also all those stuff. So different kind of status. So this is for real-time monitoring. And then with technologies like Gen AI, we can basically chat with the technologies, and it will basically give us the result of our questions. So it's like prompting. We will prompt the technologies, like for example, we ask, can you tell me what are the top 5 machines with the highest utilization for last week? So LLM will look into the collected the database, and then after that give you this kind of summary with just a few seconds, right? If you want to generate dashboard as well, that or reports, the technologies will also be able to use the data to generate it for you instead of you building your own custom reports or your dashboard. So basically, it simplifies, it increase efficiency and productivity, just by leveraging whatever data that you have collected in the past. Okay. Yeah. So this example is basically to showcase how you build a custom report or custom dashboard, not using the software itself, not by configuring the software, but using the 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 generative AI, the Gen AI technologies, and then you can export this report when your supervisors or management are requesting it, right? And all these informations are in real time also. Okay. And next is about manage. Like I mentioned, we talked about workflow. We want to automate certain kind of processes, like especially when we have a downtime event. So for example, this basically shows you we have this, you can build this kind of workflow in a platform, like whenever as shown in the screenshot, when you see a certain alert, that will basically trigger a certain process, like let's say creating a service order, right, in your service system, like a Salesforce. And then after that, you can not only created that order, you also can automatically send a notification to the operators, all right, through maybe SMS or through different kind of approach, where just now you can see that we have a lot of out of the box connectors to different kind of systems, right? So you can use all these connectors to connect to your system out of box to generate this kind of workflow. Okay. And it's all simple to use, user friendly, without any coding experience. So these are just we have more than 50 enterprise system connectors that can be readily used, and also we do also provide some standard based connectors. If your systems are supporting protocols like REST API, all data authentications, and ODBC connection and all those stuff, we do have these connectors available. And we also have an option when there's no connectors. I mean, the communication protocols are not supported by the available connectors, then we can look into building a custom connectors. But most of the time, our customers are able to find the connectors that they need to connect to their systems. And lastly, It's all about putting all this in data into into the dashboard for real-time monitoring purpose, right? And for daily, check of your operation and etc. So we have a built-in canvas, we call it the mashup builder, where it enables the users to easily build dashboard, you know. Um, so we have this canvas, and then we have a lot of various out-of-the-box widget like graph, bar chart, images, time series chart, and etc. Where you can use this widget, just simply drag and drop to the canvas to form your dashboard. And then with this widget on the canvas, we can bind data to the widget to show their corresponding informations. Okay. So these are just some of the example of the available widgets that are out of the box and readily available. Like if you want to show your information in a gauge, radial gauge in format, in a area chart format, in a map, um, in a label mode with different kind of colors, um, table, and etc. Right? So these are the widget, right? That is out of the box and can be readily used by the user itself. So no more customization, no more coding, no more scripting when you want to build your dashboard. So with that, that is all about our IoT solutions, all the way from connect and then to build data models, to do analytics on top of the data collected, to build process workflow, business workflow for on top of the data, and then before displaying or publishing that information to the end user through dashboards. So right now, I just want to share with you some customer references apart from the two videos that you have watched just now. So the first one is Veolia Water. So Veolia Water is basically the global leading water company specializing in providing sustainable water and wastewater treatment solutions for industrial clients. So the challenges that they are facing right now is basically their lack of, the knowledge of their real-time lack of real-time information of their systems. So they are not able to monitor and control the system for domestic water and sewage service providers. And then because of lack of monitoring, they are not able to get real-time informations. All right. So that actually slow down their maintenance efforts, and also disrupt their operation very often. So with that, they basically build an application they name it as Waterworks, which is basically built on top using ThinkWorks platform to sort of connect to their assets, to their different systems, to bring those real-time information to their operational team, right? And also they build workflow, right, using the platform to generate, alarm, voice alarm, and also SMS um, to alert their their maintenance team to fix the issue before it gets too long, right? So the outcome is that they are able to improve the visibility on their ground operations. So they are able to make more informed decisions about their assets operations. And with that data, they are able to optimize the operations. For example, um, lowers the temperature of, or lower the speed of the motor, and based on the past experience, past performance of the pump. So things like that they are able to perform based on the data performance of that of the pump. Okay. And the other customers we have is Howden, right? I think you just seen the video just now. So basically, they are using our ThinkWorks IoT solutions to collect and analyze their critical equipment data to provide customers with insights and to also optimize equipment performance, right? And lastly is Flowserve. So Flowserve is basically a global leader in providing industrial flow control equipment and services, right? That includes, pump, mechanical seals, and valves. So the challenge is pretty much the similar with the previous use case. They have difficulty in monitoring pump, and because pumps easily undergoes cavitations, so they are unable to capture that in real time, so causing some downtime and also some failure. So it's causing some downtime due to the failure of the pump impeller. So they actually create an applications using ThingWorx to basically monitor them. And at the same time, they also make use of analytics to do predictions, right? So that they are able to foresee or to inspect a pump when the prediction shows that the pump is going to undergo cavitations, so they can actually service the pump before cavitation happens. So I'm just going to show you quickly a video about these customers.
Flowserve is a leading manufacturer of flow management products. Their pumps help move, control, and protect the flow of materials
Oops.
in critical industries around the world. If one of these pumps goes down, the costs and lost opportunity can run into the millions. This rig uses a Flowserve pump, similar to those used in critical industries to circulate water. It has been retrofitted with 6 sensors provided by National Instruments, and a high-performance computing solution from Hewlett-Packard Enterprise is enabling analysis of the data. ThingWorx machine learning allows you to know more, do more, and get more from a machine like this. What you're seeing at work here is the automated edge sensor analytics technology behind the platform called ThingWatcher, part of the ThingWorx analytics capabilities. Each sensor reading that has a learning flag above it tells ThingWatcher analytics to learn normal operating conditions. Remarkably, the automated process does not require you to predetermine any hard and fast rules. It learns in real time about its environment. Determining what's normal and abnormal from the sensors themselves, the software then correlates the information with peak efficiency conditions. The OK indicators you see here tell you the sensors have learned what normal is and are functioning well, with no anomalies detected. To the left, you'll see future predictions, 3 outcomes predicted by the platform's Thing Predictor technology. The automation you're witnessing real time is ThingWorx Analytics evaluating the remaining number of days until each of these failures is likely to occur next. What's truly extraordinary about all of this is that there is no need for anyone to be constantly monitoring the machine. It is instead being self-evaluated all the time at a rate of 30,000 readings per second per sensor. We've turned on the pump rig to demonstrate what happens if something changes or goes wrong. Well, let's make a few things go wrong on this pump to show ThingWorx Analytics working in real time. We're going to simulate a reduction in flow by closing this valve. As you can see, the software immediately responds to the change of flow. What's happening is that ThingWatcher is automatically detecting the flow problem and sending real-time notifications or alerts. Critical sensor readings are being flagged, pump efficiency is dropping, and the impeller is at risk of failing if the problem is not immediately addressed. When maintenance is delivered, the numbers return to normal. So as you can see, the problem can be resolved before it becomes an expensive pump failure or serious downtime occurs. Let's throw another problem at the system and see how it works. I'm going to shift the alignment of the pump by lifting the main housing through the pull of this black bar. You can hear something is wrong. But let's imagine a remote monitoring situation and there's no technician around to hear this. So you need to rely on real-time monitoring. ThingWatcher is reading anomalies to flag negative changes to the pump efficiency gauge, which immediately triggers. The system can also simultaneously send an automated phone call to a technician, alerting them of the problem. Once the problem is resolved, the numbers return to their normal state. You can imagine the level of control and visibility this technology can provide within your central fleet, offering an incredibly responsive view of the usage and condition of pumps all around the world from one location. This demonstration featuring PTC's predictive service solution is just one example of the hundreds of ways the transformative power of machine learning delivers value. Through that power, the ThingWorx platform enables unprecedented access to connected intelligence synchronized to your machines. A platform of data analysis and systems learning delivered with utter simplicity. Out of the box, the platform helps machines teach themselves using information to predict, detect, and even fix production hangups.
All right. With that, that comes to the end of my sharing sessions. And if you have any questions that you would like to follow up later, I believe that Angelina has shared the contact. And I also want to share my email and also Mr. Kumar's from Kuber Labs email, so that you guys can reach out to us as well if you have any questions and things to clarify. So with that, I think that's all I have today, and we can get some questions from the floor.
All right. Well, Wilson, there are actually 3 questions coming from the participants. So the first one is from HBG. So they were asking about how frequently the pump or motor need to service or to be maintained.
Well, that's a very, I mean, that's a very common question that operation team would like to know. So that's the reason and the objective of having a platform to connect to your pump or your motor to understand the health of them. So by understanding them, where you have the real-time information for your pump or for your motor, that's where you can determine whether the pump needs to be serviced or not, right? If you see your pump starting to uh, run slower, not at the normal range, then that could be the sign, you know, for maintenance to be taken place. So in order to know that, you need to have the data. You need to understand the data of the pump or the motor, and that's why the IoT solution that we provide is able to help you with that, to connect to your pump or your motor, and to get you the real-time informations and to help you to decide on the frequency, or even telling you when you need to maintain it. Is that answer? I hope that answer your questions.
All right. Second question actually is coming from, I think it's combination of 2 participants, from Benny and Audrey. So apart from water and sewage industry, can this system be used in other industry like oil and gas or construction?
Oh yeah, definitely. Like I mentioned, if you still recall the very first, at the very beginning, I talked about our customers are from various industry. Can be from oil and gas, water and wastewater industry, pharmaceutical, medical technologies, and etc. So as long as what I would say is that as long as you have assets or you have smart devices that you want to monitor in order to improve our operation, our solution will be able to fit. So it's not just specifically about the facility industry or the water industry. It can be it can be applied to other industry as well.
I see. All right, before I follow up to that question, I just quick reminder to the participants. As shared in the screen right now is the QR code for the participant form by the Cubalab. If you haven't filled in the form, please kindly do so. That would be for the administrative and communications purpose. Anyway, to follow up to the question just now, what is the connectivity recommendations like 5G? And may we know if what is the redundancy consideration for the connectivity?
Mm, if so, okay. So the connectivity recommendation is it actually varies. I wouldn't say that we need to follow a specific way of connectivity. So from my personal experience, when we talk about oil and gas, say for example, especially when they want to monitor their assets offshore, right? Where they have, well platform in the middle of the sea, and they want to monitor, their assets on the platform itself. What I see is that they are using 3G, you know, as a connectivity. Uh, I mean that was like a few years back. So I mean, with the advancement of technologies, maybe 5G it can create a more better connectivity options, right? And in terms of speed. So yeah, 5Gs or some customers they might have their own communication protocol. So that it really boils down to what are the available communication protocols that the assets can support. Some are using some IoT gateway, right, to establish the connectivity. Some are using MQTT broker, for example, right? Uh, so we so really, it really depends on the customer's infrastructure, and then we can, see how we can establish the connections.
All right, Wilson, are you willing to take one more question from the participant right here?
Sure.
Yeah. So, Ikri said, I can see the use of your solution on the sewage treatment plant or toll system at highways, but how about the pavement related works? Are there any use of that you can share, or do you have any experience uh, experience with customers in this sector? And or it's basically directly towards M&E equipments and works.
If I can understand the questions correctly, when you mention pavement, is it about road pavement?
Yeah, roadworks, motor roadworks. Is there any like example of cases that where we use this solution for roadworks, or this is basically that it's or the solution is just directly towards M&E equipments
I
and
think
works?
okay, I wouldn't say that it's only for M&E equipment, all right? And so it really depends on what, so the usually what we start off is that we'll see what are the challenges that you would like to solve, right? So let's say you're raising these road pavement kind of related works. So what are the challenges that you want to solve, or what are the things that you are trying to improve, and some issues that you encountered in the process. So that is one way to basically identify, kickstart what are the possible, value that an IoT solution can drive out of this process. And yeah, I mean, if especially for this pavement, I'm not very sure because I don't really have any references or come across this, but think about the equipments, the assets that we required to do this pavement. And is the current process is really, giving you the good result, or you think that there's something that can be optimized. For example, you might want to control the temperature of the material that you use to pave the road, things like that. So if you have if you already have that information, then we can see, how we can talk to all these kind of different equipments, and then to help you to optimize that process. So I think I need to actually, it would be great if you can share, we can have a separate discussion, of course, to talk more about this and to understand about the use case better. And then we'll see how the solutions can be applicable.
Right. Okay, I guess we are done with the Q&A session, and as we approach the end of the Q&A session, I want to remind everyone that if we couldn't get the question during this webinar, our speakers will be happy to have a separate session with you. So feel free to contact PTC or QBLab if you wish to know more. Okay, I believe a lot of you are curious on how does the solutions provided by PTC works and can further improve our operational intelligence. All right. In wrapping up the session, we've been treated to a session that was both informative and engaging. A special thank you to our speaker for sharing his valuable insights. Do you have any final remark, Mr. Wilson? Your mic is not on.
Oh, I'm sorry. Thanks for reminding that. I think it was I hope that these sessions gives you more insight, and you can appreciate and understand better about how IoT solution can drive more efficiency and drive more business value to whatever field, whatever process that you are operating. And I can see that there are a lot more questions coming in, just that we have time constraints. So we will, if necessary, we can actually, take this offline, and then we can have separate discussions to even understand better about the question and the processes that you are working on. So I will be very happy to, to discuss all these things with you guys, and really appreciate your attendance and joining these sessions to hear about this as well. Thank you so much.
Right. Thanks. Additionally, we have a moment ahead as we present a certificate of appreciation to Wilson for his contribution today as today's speaker. So, okay, it's shared in the screen. This is your certificate.
Thank
All right.
you.
Ladies and gentlemen, before we conclude our webinar, let's capture this moment with a virtual group photo. With that, I invite the participants to open the camera. Okay, I'll give it a few more seconds for everyone. Okay, so I have 4 slides in my view right now. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, one more. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, another one. The 1, 2, 3. And last one, 1, 2, 3. Okay. Okay, before we depart, allow me to quickly share some of our the PCSS that the services that PCSS provide. So if any of you are interested for demo on services or interested to participate in our trainings, kindly contact us at the contact below. So currently we have Primavera P6, Synchro for the Pro courses, as well as BIM. So you can reach out to us through the email contacts shown in the screen. And lastly, to ensure we accurately track your attendance, provide you with the e-certificates, we kindly request your participation to scan and fill in the attendance from the available screen. And lastly, a big thank you to our wonderful audience for joining us. Your participation and engagement have made this webinar a success, and we hope you leave today with a deeper understanding on operational intelligence and the capability that PTC solutions provide. Once again, thank you all for being a part of this session. We look forward to see you in the future webinars. Please stay safe and see you soon.
Have a good day, everyone. Thank you.
Yeah, have a good day. I will also be providing the attendance link in the chat, just in case those who are using the phone. Okay, give me a few seconds to share.